Alright, another Donkey Kong game. The Forgotten Donkey Kong 3. Where... Wait a minute. What's this? This is a Donkey Kong sequel? Instead of a platformer, it's a shoot-'em-up? Kinda? Sorta? What? Okay, so after ditching Mario and Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong found refuge in Stanley the Bugman's greenhouse. Who's Stanley, you may ask? Why, he's the protagonist of Donkey Kong 3, of course. He's an exterminator who happens to own a whole bunch of killer bugs who live in his greenhouse. It's up to Stanley to shoot Donkey Kong out of your greenhouse with his bug spray by having him move further into the greenhouse, all while avoiding killer bees that are disturbed by Donkey Kong that wants his flowers. Stanley uses these platforms to maneuver around and dodge bees, so it has some platforms in it, and Stanley can also jump. So see, it's just like the previous two Donkey Kong games. Stanley's only power-up is a stronger spray that Donkey Kong will drop if Stanley shoots Donkey Kong up the ropes more. This only lasts a little bit, but can be brought with you into later levels. There's 3 screens. The first is a pretty basic one, this one with worms that'll block your shooting range, and the last one, which is a lot like the first one, only there isn't a platform to drop down over the area where Donkey Kong is. So if Donkey Kong drops down on you, you get hit by a bug, or the bugs take all your flowers, it's down 1 life. So unlike previous games we've seen, Donkey Kong 3 requires a lot of multi-management and gets really hard in the process. The first phase isn't too bad when you get the super spray, and the stage with the worms won't bother you if your button mashing skills are any good. Starting on phase 2, you'll come across the queen bee. If you kill her, she'll shoot off stingers that'll kill you instantly in 4 directions. Isn't that a little too much? Honestly, I don't think you have to deal with Donkey Kong falling on you or losing all your flowers, because 99% of the time, you'll die by smacking headfirst into a bee. This is probably the only one of Nintendo's arcade conversions that's honestly as hard as the arcade version. Yeah, Donkey Kong 3 is a port of the 1983 arcade game that remains pretty obscure today, and I don't blame them. I think this version has smoother handling on Stanley, but it has one disturbing scene that was thankfully removed from the home version. Holy shit, they ate him bones and all! And this worm stage I had no problem with on the NES is actually a lot more annoying here. They block your path, never die, and they freak out a bit when you shoot them. Since nobody really remembers Donkey Kong 3, I'm gonna assume that it was a failure, especially because Nintendo abandoned Donkey Kong for a solid decade until his revival with Donkey Kong Country. Which makes sense. That's like if they made the next major Sonic release a beat-em-up. Would anyone be happy? No. However, it was hinted that there would be a follow-up Donkey Kong game on the NES. In 1987, a game titled Return of Donkey Kong was one of the main coming attractions on an official Nintendo's player guide and in a 1988 Nintendo Fun Club newsletter. However, no such Donkey Kong game existed even in Japan, so whatever it was remains a mystery. Anyways, Donkey Kong 3 is just kind of a frustrating experience with some enjoyability but very limited. I'm sure it has its defenders, but in all honesty, what's there to defend?